Hi everyone, Stepan here. I'm going to play another 15+10 training game. Hopefully we get a game that's interesting. Yesterday's game was okay. I don't know if you saw it, but I made a few stupid mistakes. Okay, I'm white in this one. What do? I'm going to play e4. Okay, Sicilian. Just let me check if everything is okay. I'm gonna play the closed Sicilian in this one. Okay, everything should be okay, I hope. Had some trouble recently with the sound because my cable for the microphone got broken, so I had to buy one that's not original. Okay, he played d6. Now I could go knight f3 into an open Sicilian, main line actually. I could go g3. I could go bishop b5 check. Or I could go for the main line with f4. I think I'm gonna just go g3 and play a normal closed Sicilian. Now his plan should be to expand on the queen side. Okay, bishop g2. When he plays b5, if he prepares it with a6, I think I'm going to go a4 on a6. Okay, now the question is, do I want to play f4 knight f3 or knight e2 castles f4? I think I like my knight on e2. You can play both things. Now, the good thing about this position is that it's not very theoretical. That's why I like it. So most people who are inexperienced are just gonna play normal moves. Now again, I have to think about d3 or d4. I think I'm gonna go for a normal closed line with d3. I mean, both are okay. Now I have to start controlling the d4 square, but if I play bishop e3, he's gonna play knight g4. If he plays knight d4 now, I think I'm okay. He could try knight d7 and f5, which lends support to d4. Do I have to play h3? Yeah, I think I want to play h3 because I want my bishop on e3. This may be kind of slow, but in positions where my king is on h2 and I play f4, h3 actually helps me. Okay, bishop e3 should be normal. Now he cannot play knight d7, which is good. I mean, I don't know if there's a better square for his bishop than d7, but yeah, for those of you who say, why don't I switch to the dark mode on Lichess? I don't like dark mode, I like light mode. So, I don't know. I don't want to switch to the dark mode. Okay, obviously I'm gonna play f4 and start an attack, and my idea is going to be queen e1 and g4 and maybe queen h4, and then depending on what he does, h4, h5. He still hasn't started his attack on the queen side, which is the side of the board he should be playing at. But if he plays b5 now, his bishop is sort of tied down to the defense of his knight. And again, yesterday I got into time trouble, even though I had a great position. So today I'm just gonna play a4. I don't want to allow b5. I don't see a reason for that. Now this is very similar to a Zagreb variation in the Najdorf, where the only difference is that these two pawns have been traded off. So we have the open c file. But still, against in the Zagreb Najdorf, you want to go a4 and prevent b5. Here I don't have the option to play a5 and knight a4, knight b6, which is very common there. But Can actually do that somehow. Now c2 is weak. I'm gonna have to be careful about c2. If his knight goes to h5, I think I can actually play this similarly to Fianchetto King's Indian or a Czech Benoni type of kingside cramping, where I, against knight h5, go g4 to make sure his knight doesn't have any squares. But there, am I afraid of e5? I don't think so. Okay, he played queen c7. Now I could go f4 straight away. He might be playing for c4 in some positions, or he might be just developing his pieces. I also like queen d2, which is a normal move, but then he has knight b4, excuse me. But against knight b4, I could go a5, and then if he plays knight back to c6, I could play knight d5, where my a5 pawn is defended, and then threatening to come into b6. If I can play knight b6, I should be better. So I have two options: queen d2, which is a normal developing move, or f4, starting an attack. Against queen d2, knight b4 ties down my queen, so I don't have bishop h6 ideas or anything like that. f4 weakens the diagonal, but if he wanted to play queen b6, he could have played it already. So I think I'm just gonna go queen d2 for now, just connecting my rooks, developing my last piece. I think that should be okay. Now I don't really want to play moves like rook b1 or rook c1 if I don't have to. I would much prefer to play something like knight d1 and c3 against knight b4, where I'm preparing d4. That being said, I could have played d4 instead of d3, but I wanted to close Sicilian. Just a second, Lucia just came home. I'm gonna ask her to make me coffee. Lucia, hoćeš mi napraviti kavu? Molim? Ne. I just asked her to make me some coffee in my small cup because I'm playing. And we didn't have any coffee at home, so I couldn't make it before the game. She went down to the shop to get coffee. I don't know. I mean, if he cannot play b5, he cannot play d5, he cannot play e5 because it makes no sense. He cannot go knight h5. Maybe he should go knight e8 and f5. I mean, I have more space and my pieces are good. Nothing's really happening in this position yet. So I think I should keep playing sensible moves. Now, one idea I do have is, and this may sound slow, but I can go f4, knight d1, knight f2, c3, d4. Where I can actually take and then go e5. Okay, he wants to go b5. How afraid am I of that? Now I have two options. I can start playing against b5, or I can just continue with f4. I feel that this is a critical position because he wasted a move on knight a7. So I could try to go bishop h6 here, trading off his good bishop. Okay, candidate moves. I need to play quickly. f4, bishop h6, a5. knight d5. I actually also like knight f4, but then he plays e6. If I go a5, he goes knight c6, and then I have to go knight d5, he takes, he plays knight b4, and then actually win a piece with c3, so he cannot do that. So a5, knight c6, knight d5, threatening the e7 pawn. If he plays e6, I take on f6, weakening d6. If he takes, I take. He has to play knight e5, I think, where I can go f4 and win a piece again. So a5, knight c6, knight d5, knight d5, e d5, he would have to go knight d8 or knight b8. That way I'm stopping b5. If I go f4, he plays b5, I take it, a b5, threatening b4. Yeah, I don't like f4. I don't think I'm getting enough. But a5 may be a bad move, because I'm not doing anything on my own. I'm just trying to prevent what he is doing. Also, I'm giving up the b5 square, so he could go knight b5. Okay, a5, knight c6, knight d5, threatening the queen, threatening the e7 pawn, and if he moves the queen to d8, I go knight b6. There I'm very happy. So against a5, knight c6, knight d5, he has to take e d5. That means that I have an open e file to work with his weak e7 pawn at the end of it. He has to move his knight again. If he goes knight e5, I go f4, winning a piece. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I want to restrict this if I can. I think he has to go knight c6. Because if he doesn't go knight c6, then his knight is just stuck. And against knight b5, I'm just going to leave it there because I don't think the knight is doing that much, and then I continue with f4. I'm a bit shorter on time, but it's still okay. I actually don't think knight a7 was a good move because of a5. Unless my double d pawns are going to be weak, but I really doubt it. Because I'm controlling d4 and I can control e5 with f4. The one thing I have to be worried about is that my b2 pawn is going to be weak. But there, I think I can just play c3 to make sure I don't allow bishop b2. Yeah, this is a much more complicated game than yesterday's one. So knight c6 seems forced. I mean, unless he wants to go b6 and leave himself with a weak a6 pawn, which I think is good for me. Because if he doesn't play knight c6, I can just go knight a4. And with the knight on b6, again, I think I have to be better. That's a common plan in the Zagreb variation of the Najdorf. The Zagreb variation is the g3 variation. Okay, I'm just going to play what I calculated. I don't want to waste time. So threatening knight b6 has to take. I mean, he could go knight d4. Why didn't I think of knight d4? Because his bishop is defending d4 now. So takes, knight d4. Why didn't I think of knight d4? He plays knight back? Okay. Knight d4 was interesting. I think he should have played that. So now the question is, do I go c4 or c3? Because c3 defends my pawn and is a bit safer, I feel, because I'm going to have d4. But c4 prevents knight b5, and I don't see a future for that knight. Hvala ti. Thank you. Hvala means thank you in Croatian. Okay, so c4. c4 seems better. I don't know. I mean, my queen defends b2 all the same, and he probably should have played knight d4 there. Yeah, I'm just gonna play c4. I think this is better. I don't want to allow knight b5. I want to play against this knight. This is a horrible piece. I mean, this is a dreadful knight. What does it even do? I don't know. I feel that he's going to have to play b6 at some point to break the position. But even then, I can just take with the rook. I don't have to react. Or, yeah, I actually have to take, because then he could play b5. So maybe I should play rook a2 and take, and queen takes, and then prepare rook a1 to put pressure on a6. I like that plan. So maybe now I'm switching plans. Maybe I don't want to do anything on the king side, and I'm just going to play for pressure against a6, because again, if he does nothing, his knight has no squares. My opponent's rating is provisional as well. I don't know how strong he is. He could be 2600, he could be weaker than his rating. So far, I think he made a mistake with knight a7. I think he should have played knight d4, where we both have doubled pawns on the d file. I should say that if he ever plays e6 now, then my bishop is a monster, and he doesn't get to play b6. I feel that all my pieces are good. Maybe my e2 knight needs to be improved, but how do I improve it? I would like it on g3, which seems a bit weak. I don't want it on f4, doesn't do anything on f4. On c3, it runs into b5, where I take, queen takes. Yeah, by the way, sorry for the noise. I don't have anywhere to go when I'm playing. I don't live alone. I live with my fiance, who is the woman you keep asking about, by the way. So that's my fiance. And what you can hear now is my dog. So okay, back to the game. I'm 4 minutes ahead on the clock, which is good, because this game isn't even close to being resolved. I do have doubled pawns, but they give me insane control over the center. On queen c8, I just go king h2. On e6, I take it. He did play e6. Now he's never going to play b6. Does he take with the bishop or with the f pawn? I'm afraid of him taking with the f pawn, actually. Maybe I should just go knight c3 here. Knight c3, but then his knight has the c6 square again. So knight c3, e d5, knight d5 attacks the queen, and then I can get my knight into b6 again. And if he pushes e5, I don't think that's a problem. Then I could go f4. Knight c3, if he takes it, I'm not afraid. I can just take back with the queen. Knight c3 improves my piece, but but d6 improves my bishop. But I'm afraid of fe6. I don't want to give him another center pawn. Okay, if I do go knight c3, I'm not afraid of e5. I'm not afraid of taking, because if he plays e5, I go knight a4. If he takes, I go knight d5. Okay, I'm going to play knight c3 because it improves my worst piece, and usually if you don't know what to do, improving your last piece is good, but maybe, and I'm going to check this after the game, I think this is another critical point, maybe taking was correct, because he has the option to close the position down where my bishop pair isn't really that good, and I think getting his f-pawn to e6 would be a huge mistake. I mean, giving him more central control seems bad, because then he could play d5 eventually and start breaking the center. This way I have a threat. This way I'm threatening knight a4. I don't think he should take that, giving up the bishop, but I could even consider taking with the pawn, giving up the b5 square, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I take with the knight, and then when the queen moves, I go knight b6, attacking the b7 pawn and attacking the rook, and threatening to just grab the bishop pair, undoubling my pawns. I think knight c3 is okay. And also, if he plays e5, I could go bishop h6 trade and then go knight e4, threatening. I don't get this move. I mean, I understand he wants to go to f5, but I can just go g4 there, so I don't think the knight is ever going there. Maybe he's preparing b6 now. So if we go knight a4, he goes b6. So I don't think I should go knight a4. My knight is good in the center. Also, if he... Well, actually, knight a4, b6, I go d6, attacking the bishop, but he has bishop a4. And when I take on a8... That's actually good. On knight a4, he doesn't have b6 because I take on e6. He doesn't have b6 either way because I take on e6, so I don't even have to give him the option to play bishop a4. So I like bishop h6. I mean, this bishop is the key defender of his king, and I want to trade it off, so I think it's a simple move that cannot be bad. He doesn't have bishop d4 because I take it, because I take on f8. He doesn't have bishop c3, definitely. And with my knight being able to come to e4, I think this is very dangerous if he ever takes, because I'm threatening knight f6 and knight g5. I don't see a way to defend against both, so he definitely cannot take. He definitely cannot take. And I like my bishop now. My bishop is great. Maybe he should play e5. Okay, 4 minutes, almost 4 minutes ahead on the clock. That's good. I hate playing in time trouble. I think I've been preventing stuff most of this game. This may be my first active move. Now I can start thinking about f4, f5, actually. Because his pawn is on c5, there's no trouble on the diagonal. Okay, so he wants to go to f5. He also may try to take on d5 now. So I'm just going to trade the bishop off to make sure my b pawn is not hanging anymore. And now, where do I want my rooks? If he takes ed, then knight d, bishop d. And maybe he has bishop e6, so I like rook fe1, but then again I don't like rook fe1 because I don't have a rook on the f file there. Knight a4 could be good here, but then he takes on d5, so I don't want to allow that. Rook a e1 loses a pawn. So I think I'm gonna play rook fe1. This makes sense because it prevents f5. It also prevents ed because his knight is hanging. Also, I'm still preventing b6. So I think this is a good prophylactic move. I need to prevent counterplay for now. Still, I've allowed knight f5 and then knight d4. But against knight f5, I think I can go g4, knight d4, knight e2. I could also try to ignore the knight. Yeah, maybe I should have played g4 here. Maybe I should have played g4. But then he has h5. So I don't like that. Can I just play around his knight on d4? I don't think so, because he has knight b3. Okay, so he wants to play ed. So maybe I shouldn't be preventing knight f5. If I go g4 and he goes h5, that seems kind of scary because I take and I have queen g5. So I like g4. I'm going to play g4 even though it may not be good, because I don't want to waste too much time, and I definitely don't want to allow this. This is the one thing that scares me in this position. If he gets the knight to d4, then I'm basically forced to trade it off. Okay, so takes with the knight, takes, bishop takes, still prevents b6. If he trades rooks, everything is defended because my queen now defends a5. Okay, so I don't think there's much to think about here. Oh, there was much to think about. I could have played rook takes knight. There was much to think. Okay, let me just go back for a second. E d5. What if I go here? Takes, rook takes, and knight takes. Takes, queen. Ah, that was much better. Why didn't I do that? Because there I win the b7 pawn. Ah, I'm moron. I should have spent more time. So here rook e7, knight d5, queen d8, takes, queen takes, bishop b7. Ah, okay. Well, now the opportunity is gone, so... Ah, I think I had a winning position there. Ah, I don't like this. I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this. Ah. Ah, I'm so upset now. That was a really good opportunity. So now I have two options. I can take the bishop where he takes with the queen, and then I can play d4. Which doesn't give me anything. My a5 pawn is kind of loose. I've allowed him to simplify too much. I should have taken with the rook on e7. Okay. I made a mistake and I'm going to get back into the game because there's nothing I can do about it now. I cannot go queen g5 because he wins the a5 pawn in the end. I don't want to take on e8. So maybe taking is the only option, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna take because I'm wasting too much time, and I'm gonna play d4. I have to get rid of my backwards pawn. I don't see a better option. So now my a5 pawn is defended. I have a small advantage, I feel, because this pawn is bad and my one pawn is controlling two of his pawns. So I have a small advantage in the endgame. Any king and pawn endgame should be better for me. Rook endgames, I feel, should also be better for me because of this. I would like to get the queens off. And I'm not ahead on the clock anymore. Maybe he can go rook e4, queen e4, dc5, queen c4. He cannot do that, so dc5. And then do I have to go b3? That's dreadful. No, I have queen c3 check. And then rook e1. So I'm okay there. He doesn't have rook e4. Should have taken rook e7. Okay, no, I'm not talking about that anymore. Okay, so here. I still don't want to trade. I think the position is very closed if I play d5, so I don't want to go d5. I would like him to take. What's a normal move? I don't know. Okay, I'll just play rook ad1. I'm defending my pawn, but for the moment I don't know what else to do, so I just want to play quickly. And this is a flexible move. I may be threatening to take if he moves his queen and then get two rooks for the queen, where if I manage to get them to the 7th rank, that should be good, but okay, takes. I have to take with the rook. The one thing that worries me now is rook e8. Yeah, he wants to go into a queen endgame. I don't want to allow that, but if I don't trade, he has queen e4. Takes, queen f4, threatening the d6 pawn, queen e7. Maybe I should try to go into king and pawn endgame. I mean, I do have a space advantage. I don't want to play d5, that seems like a draw. Takes, takes, queen f4, queen e1 check, king g2. Queen takes a5, queen takes d6. Takes, takes, queen e3, threatening to take on c5, queen c6. Takes, takes. Okay, I'm gonna go for that because I have a minute on the clock. And I feel that this endgame should be good for me if he takes. I think he should play queen c6. So if he takes here, I'm happy. If he takes here, I'm happy. Okay, now this should be a very pleasant endgame for me. I definitely have an edge. Okay, let's get my king up. Yeah, this should be, I mean, it's probably a draw, but if anyone can win, it should be me. Especially now. Okay, get my king up, let's get my king up. Am I afraid of d5? I mean, I have to play c5, but yeah, okay, plays d5 straight away. Okay, I have to play c5. Now I'm winning if his king gets too far away. But he may be able to take this guy when I take this one. So he doesn't allow that. Ah, now it's a draw. Okay. Or I actually could be losing. Because I never have h4, he can just ignore me. Unless I can play b4, b5. b4, king d7, b5, a b5, king e3. b4, king d7, b5, a b5. King d3, king e3, excuse me. h5, I ignore it. I'm gonna do that because I think I'm losing if I don't do it. I need to give myself the option to have a passed pawn. Here, if he takes a b5, then I have a passed pawn and I'm not losing there. And then if he ever pushes here, okay, b5 takes, I go king e3. I mean, he has to take. If he doesn't take, I just take on e6. I don't know if what I did is okay, but I think I was losing if I don't do that. If his king gets to b5, then I'm lost. Now I have a passed pawn if his king gets too far away. My king is in the square of this guy on b5, so I don't think that matters too much. And of course, if he, let's say, plays f5, I can take it, and then I have a passed pawn here and a passed pawn here. So this could actually be a winning plan. I'm not sure if I'm winning now. I will have to try and Zugzwang him. Okay, here. I mean, I can always do it because I can triangulate. Okay. Still, f5 doesn't work, h5 doesn't work because I have a passed pawn here and a passed pawn here. He could also just wait, that's true. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, he can also triangulate. What am I talking about? Yeah, this should be a draw. I don't think I can win this. Unless a6 works. I don't think it works. Yeah, okay, I don't know how to win this. I don't think there's a way to do it. I don't know, it should be a draw. Yeah, I should have played g5 at some point to stop him from playing g5 himself. If he doesn't play g5, then he should have a great position. Okay, now I'm forcing him to make a move. Because he cannot move his king. If we could do this one more time, then we're good. Yeah, but it's a draw. He's not gonna play this. I mean, if he plays king c6, I win, but he's not gonna play king c6. I don't know. Why did I play king b2? What's wrong with me? I mean, it's the same thing, but... I have no way to win, that's for sure. Unless he plays one of these three moves. Well, actually, king c6 is okay here. Yeah, it's a draw. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not happy. I'll just offer a draw. I think definitely rook e7 was a way to win this position. What, he declined the draw? Okay. Why did he decline the draw? He's just gonna repeat. Ah, rook e7 was my only opportunity. Okay, let's have a look at the game. It's not good. Let me just expand this a bit. Just a second, so that once I turn on the engine, you can see it. Okay. Yeah, this is a draw, we know that. I played one blunder 0 inaccuracies and 0 mistakes. What? Ah, okay, now they're coming in. Okay, so e4. Yeah, okay, can you see the moves? Yeah, okay, this is all still theory. d3, knight c6, h3 main move. Yeah, bishop d7 was strange, as I said. Rook b8 with the plan of here is better. Okay, bishop e3 is good, a6, a5, a4 is good, queen c7, queen d2 is good. We're out of book now. Knight a7 is a mistake, yeah, okay, a5 best move, knight c6. Ooh, knight d5 doesn't work. What, I should just give up a pawn? Okay, let's have a look at that. What happens if he takes? Okay, okay, I didn't see this. Okay, knight a7, I played c4. I mean, the position is still +2 for me. Yeah, I had a great position. I messed it up with knight e7. Okay, knight c3 is good. Bishop h6 is okay. Rook fe1, rook fe8. b4. I had b4. And if he takes, knight e4. Why was b4 necessary? Why can't I go knight e4 straight away? Wait, what's the difference? Ah, clearing the b2 square for the queen. That's nice. Okay, g4 is bad, but not too bad. Ah, rook e7. Why am I so bad? I saw it a second later. Yeah. Ah, he doesn't even have queen d8. Ah. Yeah, rook e7 was so good that... No, I was thinking about this. I didn't see queen c3. I was thinking I could go here and still be just winning, which is true. Ugh. Yeah, now it's just equal. d5 was good. I didn't think d5 was good. Takes. Oh, you idiot. Why did I play c5? Why did I think I had to play c5? c5 is such a bad move. Yeah, I just have a passed pawn if I don't play c5. And now I'm lost? Okay. That makes sense. Okay, g5. Wait, how am I losing this? How am I losing this game? Yeah, because he doesn't have to do anything. Oh, this was so bad. Ugh. I hate playing in time trouble. Yeah, this is all equal. So wait. Yeah, everything is losing. But b4 was a way to draw. My god, c5 was so bad. So I went from winning in one move to losing in one move. Okay, so if he ever takes, which he shouldn't do, I have a passed pawn. And my one pawn is still controlling these. c5 was the worst move of the game. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to analyze this game without recording the video because this is distracting. I'll try to, by the way, sorry for not moving this. I'll try to do it calmly when I have enough time. This was extremely bad endgame play. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm sorry for the quality of the game. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.